Citizens in the area discovered what they thought were human legs on the banks of the Ogden River. Detectives were able to develop leads. We just didn't have enough evidence at the time. In the 80s, the scientific processes and DNA processes just weren't enough.
On July 11, 1985, a pair of human legs are found floating in the Ogden River. Despite a thorough search of the river and surrounding areas, police never find any additional remains. At the time, investigators assumed the legs belonged to missing woman Savannah Hoskins, who had disappeared 11 days earlier. Unable to confirm this theory, eventually the case went cold. Recently, the Ogden Police Department detective assigned to the cold case reached out to the state crime lab.
I got a phone call back in February, and the agency was wondering if we had a piece of skin. I checked our freezer. We didn't have any items of evidence from this case. So then I requested our case file, and in our case file I found some footprints that were preserved under a sheet of plastic, and I was hoping that we'd be able to pick up some DNA material from the footprints.
Amber then enlisted a senior scientist from the identification section to help with the major case prints.
Amber came to me and she essentially said, well, they took these major case prints. What's the possibility that we can get some skin cells off of these major case prints? And the way the major case prints are done is you take a piece of contact paper, powder the hand, place the contact paper on the hand or on the sole of the foot, and then you kind of rub it in and then you peel it off. Then you take a piece of acetate, clear acetate, put it over the top. And it's a complete record of the entire palm of the hand or the sole of the foot. The process of peeling off the contact paper probably would take off some skin cells. We attempted to peel the acetate off. It was a lot more difficult than we had anticipated. So we ended up cutting away at it.
We swabbed those, tried to get DNA. Unfortunately couldn't get much. They were pretty old and degraded.
We kind of hit a dead end at that point.
Undeterred by the setback, Amber again called investigators to see if they had any other potential sources of DNA.
Amber called the detective and said, do you have anything else that we could possibly run for DNA? And they said, well, we have a toenail, but it's moldy and we've already run it for DNA.
I don't think I've ever been so excited about a moldy toenail in my life. Last year, when I was working a different case, I had done research into how much DNA you can get from fingers and toenails.
So we took a look at the toenail, and we made two different cuttings from the toenail, one from the base and then one from the tip of it. The technique that Amber used is an old tried and true one. It's basically called an organic extraction. It is one of the better ways to extract DNA.
I was actually able to get almost a full DNA profile from this toenail.
Ultimately, this state crime lab came through, and through their scientific processes, they were able to get DNA off, process that DNA, and we were able to identify her legs positively as being Savannah Hoskins.
After 34 years, investigators received the major break that they believe will finally bring a resolution to the case, thanks to some outside-the-box thinking of a dedicated forensic analyst.
Law enforcement agencies come to rely upon us to help guide them. One of the things that the laboratory does is it assists the investigators with solving the case, not just testing evidence. An investigator needs to have good information. They need to have facts that they can count on. They're viewed as a partner because we work together to help solve these crimes.
We have a great relationship with the state lab. They're amazing people. They work really hard to get exactly what we need.